So yeah, from the thumbnail, I believe you guys know what I'm gonna talk about today. It is one of my favorite anime, and I think you can say it is my favorite shonen also. Yeah, guys, we're talking about Yu Yu Hakusho. To understand Yu Yu Hakusho's impact, we need to look at where shonen anime was before its debut. Series like Dragon Ball laid the groundwork with their adventurous spirit and martial art focus and entertaining protagonist. But Yu Yu Hakusho took things a step further, blending traditional action with very dark theme, I would say. Of course, complex character and intricate storytelling. It is, I would say, the first ever modern shonen anime. And why I'm saying that? Because you can see all the stereotypical shonen tropes in this anime. You got the protagonist, over energetic protagonist, his best friend Kuwabara, his kind of rival and moody guy, the emo kid here, and also Kurama, the femboy. If you talk about arcs, it also has all of those stereotypical arcs, like the training arc, the tournament arc, the arc where you just get random power-ups, the arc where the hero almost dies and then get resurrected by the inner demon trope. All of those things, all of those modern anime tropes. It also had a great power scaling, and I believe Yu Yu Hakusho introduced power scaling that was deeply tied to its personal struggles, and it made the character arcs feel more organic. So today I want to talk about all this trope that we see in Yu Yu Hakusho, and I believe Yu Yu Hakusho partially inspired all these shonen anime, like you can say Big 3 or Black Clover or even My Hero Academia. All of these beautiful shonen, I believe it had a little bit of print from Yu Yu Hakusho. So first up, the inner demon. Yusuke's revelation as a descendant of the demon clan not only added layers to his character but also to his struggles. It wasn't only a power up, it was a fundamental shift in his identity. Because if you guys remember, as soon as we find out that Yusuke is from demon clan, the special spirit detectives from the Mao Summer's force just started attacking him, or they were getting ready to attack him. We later see these kind of tropes in the later shonen protagonists like Naruto's struggle with the Nine Tails, or Ichigo's Hollow, or even Asta in Black Clover. So this idea that the power comes at cost of identity and control is now a staple of this shonen genre. But Yu Yu Hakusho did it in a way that felt a very transformative journey, And I believe it was also a very personal to Yusuke. Personal because later when Yusuke goes to the demon realm, he calls his demon ancestor as Oyaji. So we have to understand here that in Japanese, Oyaji literally means old man. And Japanese people, I wouldn't say most of the time, but often they use the word Oyaji or old man to refer to their father. So yeah, it was really personal to Yusuke. Like in one moment, his entire identity just changed, and my boy was so good, he didn't even react. He just didn't care, man. He just went on to fight Sensui. So I mean, what can you say? He's a true badass. And then there's that trope of classic shonen message, the power of friendship. Winning the world with the power of friendship. While teamwork and camaraderie existed in anime before, but I believe, or I would say, Yu Yu Hakusho brought a deeper and emotional resonance to it. Like Kuwabara's unwavering loyalty, also Kurama's self-sacrifice, and even his reluctant camaraderie showed us how friendship could push characters to their limits and beyond. All these relationships felt real because they weren't just about being allies. They were also personal growth, redemption, and the burden of trust, especially between Hiei and Yusuke and their bunch. Like Kuwabara being there when Yusuke was dead, like spoiler alert, Yusuke was dead just shows how much deep their friendship goes. And we can see, like, I don't even have to say that we see all this dynamic in all of the modern animes. This dynamic has been replicated in all modern shonen. One Piece, Fairy Tail, My Hero Academia, all of them where bonds between characters often drive the narrative forward. And most of the time, not often, most of the time. Now let's talk about another trope. And it is, I would say, it is one of my favorite trope in all of shonen, I would say all of anime, and that is the tournament arc. And my goodness, the dark tournament, man. It was so much fun and it was so much hype, especially Hiei. Like, he was cooking. Like, this guy literally incinerated Zeru. And right after that, told the announcer, believe me, he's not coming back. Like, infinite aura points, man. Infinite aura points. Like, this arc is the gold standard for tournament arcs in anime. Showcasing not just battle, but also character growth, high stakes, and I would say moral dilemmas. What made it special was its balance between spectacle and storytelling. Like, every fight mattered, not just for the action, but also for what it revealed about the fighters, especially the villains, or I would say the antagonist. I wouldn't call them villain. Every single antagonist was like unique in their own way. Like, they were of course unique, their fighting style were unique, their powers were unique, and the stories and personality, they were also unique too. Also, can we just talk about Genkai, like the training arc? And we got the training arc like very early in the anime, you know. And of course, later we also got the training arc, but it was only for Yusuke. In the early episodes, like the Yusuke and Kuwabara struggles, like, man, it was grueling, man. It was grueling. Those 3 fights were grueling. And especially those fights were not only about strength, man. They're also about developing the strategy and also discipline and self-awareness. They were using the elements of nature, man. Their surrounding elements, they were using all of them to defeat those guys. And in the Yusuke's training, like the training where Yusuke goes to cave with Genkai to get the power from her, like the power of the sun, or the power that is equivalent to sun. I can't remember right now, sorry guys. That was some crazy training session, man. Like, it felt real, like there were something at stake, unlike some other series where power up feels like arbitrary. Yusuke's training had real stakes. Like, he could die, man. He could die from taking Genkai's power, or that power that is equivalent to the sun's power. Like, that was crazy. Like, blood oozing out from his skin, man, that was crazy. And just see the influence, man. Just see the hardworking influence. Goku, Deku, Tanjiro, all of them. It is really crazy, man. That training, I would say, in all of shonen, Yusuke's training in the cave was really a high stakes training. And now let's talk about a trope that I don't really like. Like, I really dislike this trope, the borrowed power. I know I could merge it with the inner demon trope, but let's be real, Yusuke was already a demon offspring, or his ancestors were demons, so that was not borrowed technically. Unlike the spirit gun, like, it was literally given by Koenma. But I don't know, man, because it also might, this trope also might mean that strength doesn't come only from your inside. Sometimes, you know, you have to take help from your allies or your friends or others. So I can't judge this trope too much, because on surface it might seem like it is so bad just getting power out of nowhere, but I can understand. genre where friendship matters so much, getting power from your friends or your allies makes sense. And this idea is very relevant and central to many modern shonens, like from Gon in Hunter x Hunter borrowing energy from others, even Goku's spirit gun, and Luffy in One Piece, like relying on his crew to push his limits. All of this anime uses this, borrowed power trope. All these tropes that I just talked about in this video are really essential to the modern shonen anime. And you can say all these rendition are just like copy paste for all these shonen anime. But I can also say that about Disney princess stories or the archetypical hero stories, the slaying the dragon. But when looked closely or observed closely, you will understand that even though the basic plot points and the basic tropes have been renditions in so many ways and so many different places, some in goth settings, some in ninja settings, some in martial arts settings, but it never gets less entertaining. It's always just keep getting better, always getting better. All these tropes in shonen are like, salt. Added perfectly, the food will taste absolutely beautiful. If less, it will just be tasteless. And if added much more than required, it becomes shit. And I would argue, Yu Yu Hakusho has the exact amount that is needed of all these tropes in this anime. And what made Yu Yu Hakusho special was not just its action-packed battles or clever use of tropes. It was also the emotional depth. Like all of his character had emotional storylines and story arcs. Like Yusuke understanding that everyone needs him and he needs to be alive, to Kuwabara's friendship with Yusuke, and also his love for Yukina, his sister, his love for his sister, and how he wants to protect her at any cost. Kurama's sacrifice for her, for his mother. I just called him her. Like in my mind, he's always a femboy, man. He looks like a girl. But yeah, all of them had emotional story arcs, man. And it was not wasted. All of those story arcs was not meaningless. They were really meaningful, and they advanced their character and their character growth. Every character had something to fight for, man, making their struggles feel really genuine. This emotional core is why Yu Yu Hakusho still holds up today. And this is basically the reason Yu Yu Hakusho's DNA can be seen in so many modern shonen anime, from its focus on character-driven narratives to its masterful use of pacing. Like pacing is really good in this anime, like really, really good. It's clear that Togoshi's work paved the way for what we now consider the golden age of shonen. So the next time you watch a shonen anime and see a tournament arc or a training montage or a protagonist wrestling with their inner demons, remember, Yu Yu Hakusho did it first, man. And that is why it is the OG shonen anime.